Hello and welcome to this video on what is biochemistry. I'm going to be introducing you to the subject by hopefully giving you an understanding of what it is, what is involved in biochemistry, and why would you want to study it. So first, the Oxford English Dictionary describes biochemistry as the branch of science concerned with the chemical and physico-chemical processes which occur within living organisms. So that's not overly clear. Berg and his co-authors of the textbook Biochemistry say on their first page that biochemistry is the study of the chemistry of the life processes. But what does this mean? Well, first you need to understand that you are made of chemicals. Inside and out, you are chemicals. Now it's important to note here that not all chemicals are bad. Quite often when people think of chemicals, they think of dangerous and harmful liquids that will kill you or give you cancer. For sure, some of them will, but not all of them. Most of them won't. Take water for example, that's a chemical. Your DNA, that's a chemical, albeit a massive and quite a complicated one. As I'm sure you remember from school, and some not so fondly, chemistry is the study of chemicals and how they interact with each other. The prefix bio comes from the Greek word bios, meaning life. Technically human life, but it's now used for all living things. So when we combine bio and chemistry, basically means the chemistry of life, how life works on a chemical level. So what do you do on a chemical level? The short answer is everything. Everything you do in some way involves chemical reactions occurring somewhere in your body. Some examples are the breakdown of food and the processing of that food into usable energy. When your body grows and repairs itself, it can be on a large scale, like healing a cut, or an incredibly small scale, like folding and making proteins. When you spend your energy on things like moving, thinking, and interacting with your environment, this requires a huge number of different reactions to occur. Even your feelings and emotions, they are ultimately just chemicals moving around your brain and the rest of your body. They are physical things. But it's not just you, and the rest of humans. Oh no, all living things on the planet have chemistry going on inside them. Plants, fungi, bacteria, and other animals. Here are just a few examples. Then of course there are the viruses, arguably not alive, but still important of course, and lots of chemistry going on. And then there are the prions, infectious proteins, the ones that cause mad cow disease and CJD. If you were sat there thinking, I don't like chemistry, it's complicated and it's boring, then let's try putting it in a bit of context. Back in school when you were adding test tube A to test tube B, it was not easy to see the real-world applications. So let's look at sugar, for an example. How do you get sugar from your chocolate bar, or your cereal, or whatever you've eaten, into something that helps you move? Well, the most basic way to do this is through a process called glycolysis, and the citric acid cycle, or Krebs cycle. I'll look at these pathways in another video in more detail, but it's just one way in which your body performs chemical reactions. Another example is how your DNA makes you, you. You'll probably know that your DNA is the instructions for making you. But how does it work? One of the major parts in this is protein synthesis, the process of building proteins from your genes. I'll again go over this in more detail in a later video. So we now know what biochemistry is. But why bother spending countless hours and huge sums of money studying and researching biochemistry? First, we want to know how things work. How you work, how plants work, how bacteria work, and so on. Then we can start to understand what happens when things go wrong, for example in a disease. From here, we can start to think about targeting bits that are going wrong, with drugs or other treatments to help cure the diseases. In addition to the medical applications, biochemistry is an important part of biotechnology, which is becoming increasingly important with applications ranging from producing drugs and vaccines in bacteria to producing electricity. To sum up, biochemistry is how life works on a chemical level, and everything going on inside you is biochemistry in action. Understanding how we work helps us to fight and cure diseases and improve the world. Our future videos will be looking at what proteins are and how they're made, the ability to extract and utilise energy from food, what is your DNA and how does it work, and we'll be looking at some of the basics of organic chemistry. Of course, if there are any topics that you're interested in, please leave a comment below, and we'll try and make videos on topics you want to learn about. Remember, if you don't ask, you'll never know.